Tamil Nadu is praying. Chief Minister Jayalalithaa is unwell, and a recital for Amma's betterment is being chanted by her followers. To many, she's Amma, who's worshipped as a goddess, or like Adi Prashakti, or the ominous female power. A title taken from her 1971 Tamil film. In a display befitting a queen, her fan following is on full display. School kids, housewives, priests, men and women have all come from across numerous towns and cities all over Tamil Nadu to be with her, to see her and to wish her speedy recovery. Jayalalithaa had been re-elected as the Chief Minister on the 19th of May 2016. But then on the 22nd of September, she was hospitalized after she complained of fever and dehydration. "23 days or so later, even as the cadres pray for her and keep vigil outside the hospital, and Jayalalithaa, we are told, is responding to the treatment and recovery. For many, 2016 is 1984 once again. The parallels for many is started, it seems, with Jayalalithaa following her film and political mentor MG Ramachandran's footsteps by winning a second consecutive term. This was the first time after 32 years when a political party in Tamil Nadu won consecutive elections. The last time this had happened was in 1984 when the AIADMK founder MG Ramachandran managed to successfully win polls in Tamil Nadu. After winning these elections like MGR, she then fell ill and was admitted to Apollo Hospital like MGR. For many, her second win only highlighted the almost same path of her life journey and that of her mentor MGR. Jayalalitha's remarkable journey to the top reads like a film script. Born on the 24th of February 1948, she was just 2 years old when her father died, and she and her mother went to live with her grandfather, who was a surgeon with the King of Mysore. Her mother, a struggling actress called Sandhya, nudged the little Jayalalithaa to start acting. In 1961, she was just 13 years old when she starred in her first film. She gave her first hit film 3 years later. She even acted in one Hindi film called Izzat against Dharmendra as a male co-star in 1968. Jayalalithaa made an impact on the then mega superstar MGR, who cast her in his films. She took her books and studies to her sets, studying and shooting films together. MGR's and Jayalalitha's chemistry made history. The two acted in more than 20 films, all super hits. When MG Ramachandran, who had split from the DMK in 1972, became a chief minister in 1977, he asked his former co-star to join him in politics as well. But Jayalalithaa, who was heading for a law degree and she was writing short stories as well, was reluctant.
I would have very much liked to be a lawyer or I would have been a very good academician. He literally compelled me to join politics to help him. He persuaded me. I don't enjoy politics. I'm doing my duty.
But MGR, who was this godlike star in his state, could not be refused. Despite her top grades and her academic aspirations, in 1982, Jayalalithaa joined the AIADMK as propaganda secretary. In politics, Jayalalithaa was a novice, but a constant grooming from her mentor gave her confidence.
I think everyone who met him fell in love with him. He was a charismatic figure. When I was a child, I used to see his sword fights, his fencing in films. He was a very warm and caring kind of person. And after mother died, he replaced her in my life. So he was everything to me. He was mother, father, friend, philosopher, guide, everything to me. He sort of took over my life. First I had to enter films for my mother's sake. Then I had to enter politics for Mr. MGR's sake.
Her rise as MGR's confidant also brought her the envy of her party colleagues and her first big battle. Her success in her role as propaganda secretary caused resentment among high-ranking members of the party, and they engineered a rift between her and M.G. Ramachandran. These members influenced M.G. Ramachandran to stop her writing about her personal life in a Tamil magazine. But despite these machinations, she remained admired by the rank and file of the party. However, MGR's funeral changed the course of history of Tamil Nadu politics and Jayalalithaa. On the 24th of December 1984, after MGR's death, Jayalalithaa was not allowed to pay her last respect to MGR in the house. She then went to the ceremonial hall where the body was kept in state and parked herself at MGR's head. She made sure she remained visible in full view of millions of television audience and mourners for almost 30 hours. When MGR's body was placed in the gun carriage, Jayalalithaa climbed into it. A few minutes later, in an ugly scene and witnessed on television all over the country, she was virtually pulled out by MGR's wife's relatives and abused. Jayalalithaa had to leave under police escort.
There were people within the ADMK during MGR's time who were against her. They were trying to poison his ears, and she was totally down and she was sidelined. And when MGR died, she was not even allowed to go and see his body in the Ramavaram Gardens. But she managed to come and stand next to his body.
Jayalalitha's silence in such humiliation earned her public sympathy, and in elections in 1989, she defeated the AIADMK's faction headed by MGR's widow Janki. Clearly, the people had chosen. She now thought of herself as larger than life. She emulated MGR, and she started to be feared more than empathized. Speaker or ministers would prostrate before her. Her MPs would stand around her and would not be asked to sit down. And most would be scared to even open their mouths and speak. So today, There's a sense of deja vu for many old-timers in Chennai. The scenes unfolding in Tamil Nadu following MGR's protégé Jayalalitha's hospitalization bear an eerie similarity to what happened 32 years ago in the city that was still known then as Madras. The parallels of MGR and Jayalalithaa are strong and difficult to ignore. Matinee idol turned chief minister, MGR was admitted to the same Apollo hospital just past midnight on the 5th of October 1984. Initially, MGR believed it would be a one-night stay and told his wife and officials not to allow the news of his hospitalization to spread, and even sent away his pilot motorcycles and car. MGR was 68 then, as per his birth records, about the same age as Jayalalithaa is now. AIADMK leader's health was kept tightly guarded, like information on Jayalalithaa is in short supply. During the long months of his treatment, there was little real news of MGR's condition. Apollo's medical bulletins on the condition of the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister served little or no clarity to the people who were praying for MGR's health. Ditto with Jayalalithaa. When the news of his illness spread, the country saw a scale of mass idolatry never witnessed before. The devout offered prayers and supplications for VIP patients' speedy recovery. Crowds kept up round-the-clock vigil from treetops. The police hurriedly erected wooden barricades at the head of hospital's approach road, 200 yards away, to keep the crowds at bay. Ever since Jayalalithaa, suffering from breathlessness, was rushed to the hospital, the AIADMK cadres have laid siege in front of the hospital, and the police have had to set up barricades around the hospital. A doctor from UK has been called to examine her, while doctors from United States and Japan were called in to treat MGR. As Jayalalithaa continues to be bedridden, the hospital has become a hub of political activity, with national and state leaders arriving one after the other to inquire about her health and to wish the AIADMK Supremo a speedy recovery. Party leaders, union ministers, Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi all have visited Jayalalithaa. It was the same during the MGR times. Visitors flocking to the hospital included Rahul Gandhi's grandmother, the then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, who flew into Madras just weeks before her assassination to specially meet MGR. With state's administration virtually grounding to a halt, the state government Vidyasagar Rao has allocated the portfolios held by the ailing Chief Minister Jayalalithaa to the Finance Minister Paneer Selvam on the advice of Jayalalithaa. But she remains the CM. Ditto was the case then, when the then Governor S.L. Khurana accepted the then Finance Minister Nedu Chezian as the de facto CM in MGR's absence. The other constant in their lives is M. Karunanidhi. Jayalalitha's ill health has become a gift for her arch-rival, the DMK chief Karunanidhi, who has been demanding Jayalalitha's health status. "30 years ago too, Jayalalitha's mentor, MGR's erstwhile friend, sworn political enemy and many times Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, M. Karunanidhi, who had been banished by MGR from the office continuously for 3 terms, had used the same tactics against MGR. After staying in Apollo Hospital, MGR suffered a kidney failure and was soon flown to Brooklyn Hospital, New York for a treatment. He stayed there for 4 months. MGR resumed charge of office 6 months later and governed Tamil Nadu for another 3 years, until his death on the Christmas Eve of 1987. After his death, the party saw power struggle and multiple splits, followed by an electoral debacle in 1989 before Jayalalitha's faction consolidated and returned to power in 1991. If MGR made history by being the longest-serving Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, then Jayalalitha's stint in power has not only been longer, but has spread over a quarter of a century. If anything, she has widened the AIADMK's vote bank. Strange seems to be the story of that of the mentor and his protégé.